Hello, online crew. I finally made it to my own live. My computer just decided to the camera just decided to not work. I'm sitting there ready to go live, and it just says my video doesn't work. I don't know what's going on. I've been on calls and using my video on my computer for the last 3 hours straight. Got off one call, getting ready to come on this live, and my camera just said, "No, don't want to work. You don't have a camera attached." I'm like, "What? I've got to go live like right now." So I'm on my phone. I quickly jumped onto my phone, which means I couldn't go live on Instagram because that's what I use my phone for. I'm in portrait mode instead of landscape mode. So if you're watching on a computer, you're going to get big black lines either side of it. But I'm here. I managed to get here. I'm late. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I'm here. So, technology does these weird and wonderful things. But can you see me and can you hear me okay? I just want to check that. I can see Cherie. Cherie, hello. How are you? Facebook user, hello. Gotta love technology, absolutely. So I've made it. That's the main thing. So how are you? I hope you're having a good day. Got no idea what's going on, but it's okay. You just do what you need to do. So what I'm here to talk about today is if you're struggling to get people's attention online, do these 3 things. So I just want to simplify some things for you. I think on social media sometimes people are trying to do all the things. And sometimes you forget really what you should be concentrating on. So I just want to give you 3 things. So if you kind of need to evaluate a little bit with what you're doing and where you're focusing, here's what I recommend you do if you've got a little bit of lack of attention of people online. So you feel like you're doing things, but you're not really getting much traction from it, or maybe you're not consistent enough. So what should we really kind of check in with? So if any of you have done any of my boot camps before, particularly the lead generation boot camp, there's something that I talk about quite regularly there. And I just want to really highlight that here. If you're struggling to get people's attention online, you need to build up your social equity. So do you know what I mean by that? Building up your social equity. What does that actually mean? If you've done the lead generation bootcamp with me a few times, you might know what that is. Maybe you've even forgotten. So let's have a little chat about that. Getting attention online means, for you to achieve that, you need to do a number of things. But first and foremost, you need to build up the know, like, and trust factor, don't you? So how well are you doing that? What is your social equity like? Social equity means what is the equity that you've got online? So when people are looking at you, what do they think about you? What kind of impression are you creating online? How consistently are you online? Those kind of things, like building up your social equity. And you might like, okay, I kind of get that, Helen, but how do we do that? Okay, so let's have a little chat about 3 things that you can do to build up your social equity. And this is I just really recommend that you concentrate on this to build up the social equity, because the people that I see crushing it online, the people that are winning online, people are looking at them online. So what is there to look at about you? Why would I look at you online? What are you doing online for me to want to show up and talk to you, look at your content, get intrigued by what you're doing? Like, what do you think your social equity is like? Like, if you had to rate yourself from 0 to 10 regarding your social equity, what do you think that would be? Is it a 2? Would it be a 4? Would it be a 5? You're doing okay? How do you know whether you've got good social equity or not? How many conversations are you in? How many people are you talking to online? How many people are you attracting to you online? How many people are you communicating with online every single day? You want to have a good problem. What's a good problem to have is that you can't get back to the amount of people that are communicating with you and engaging with you or messaging you. That's somebody with good social equity. Somebody with amazing social equity can't keep up with the amount of people that are engaging with them and talking to them online. Is that you? Do you have that problem? If you don't have that problem, then you want to concentrate building up your social equity. So Cherise said a 3. So it means you've got a bit of work to do, doesn't it, Cherie? In building up that, and social equity comes from the know, like, and trust factor. You will communicate with and engage with people that you know, like, and trust online. So, and I say this and I feel like I repeat myself over and over again with this, but you really need to check in with this. Sometimes you just need to check in with the basics. Is how am I letting people get to know me? Know, like, trust. How am I letting people get to know me? Do I share enough? Do I even let them know that I've got a side hustle? I've got an online business. I'm letting people know that I am concerned about, my money situation, saving towards retirement, that I'm aware of what everybody's struggling with out there, with bills and whatever. I'll share something with you. One of my we're fortunate enough to be mortgage free in this house that we're in at the moment, which is amazing. I would hate to think what this house would cost if we had a mortgage on it, but I do have investment properties with mortgages on them. So I got a letter last week saying that your fixed rate is ceasing. So this is just where everyone's at. This is your average person's story who's got a mortgage, or even rent's going up. But and I'll just be real with you. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So we've got an investment property. The repayments on that investment property were $1,400, just over $1,400 a month. So the fixed term rate is finishing. And I rang up before we went to Bali and fixed again, got the rate down, just trying to do what I can to keep those repayments down. But they didn't action it. So I got a letter 2 days ago. Guess what the mortgage payment went from? $1,400, which is what we've been paying. It was fixed for, I think, 2 years or something like that. $1,900. $1,400 to $1,900 just because we're not on a fixed rate anymore. The average person wouldn't be able to handle that jump. That's the difference between, okay, I now can't buy as many groceries. I can't go out. I can't do that. Like $1,400 to $1,900. That is a big jump, don't you think? This is what the world is going through at the moment. This is just an average person with an average mortgage. That's just one scenario of mine. Are you relatable? Are you talking about that? That's one of the biggest ways that you'll get people interested in building a business online. They are struggling with their finances. Are you sharing that story on social media at all? Are you sharing the fact that why that's important to you, to the fact that, Forbes says these days it is important to have multiple streams of income? It is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity to have multiple streams of income. Are you having that conversation on your social media? So you want human relatability. That's how you build up your social equity. Human relatability. You understand what people are going through and you're having that conversation. Could you do a better job of having that conversation on social media to get more eyeballs and to get more attention and to have more conversations? That's just one example. If you are in a company that has a certain product range, so if you're in a company that has health and wellness products, how often do you talk about your health journey on your social media? That kind of stuff will get people's attention because everybody's struggling. People are struggling with 2 main things in life. 1, money. 2, their health. There's lots of other things that people struggle with. And when I say health, that's mental health, that's physical health, that's weight, that's energy, that's you name it all. That's all of the above. Are you having that conversation to build up your social equity, to have more conversations with people? You are missing opportunities, I guarantee it. You can easily build up your social equity by having these conversations. How often are you doing that? You should be having a conversation regarding the business side of things and financial struggles and whatever your business represents at least once a week. Okay? But getting back to the 3 things that I recommend that you do. Okay? So 1, put a valuable piece of content somewhere on social media every day. Put a valuable piece of content on social media somewhere every day. Now, some of you will say, oh, Helen, that's awesome, but I can't be bothered with that. I find social media exhausting. I can't keep up with that, whatever. That's okay. That's where you go to number 2. Batch your content to survive the social media overwhelm. Do a whole lot of posts, written posts, do them all at once. One day a week, set aside a few hours, write a few curiosity posts or some ideas. I've just said to you, just write about 2 different topics once a week. So sit down and write 4. There's 2 weeks of content done. Just post it. If you're doing micro video content, you're doing Reels, you're doing TikTok, those kind of things, batch record them. Batch record 3, 4, 5, 10. Then you've got the next 2 weeks covered. So for you to be able to achieve number 1, do number 2 with that. So put a valuable piece of content out on social media every day, but I'm not saying for you to be a slave to social media every day. I'm not saying for you to work harder. I'm saying for you to work smarter. So to achieve number 1, do number 2. Batch record your content. I was just having a team call with my network marketing team just before. There's 2 things that I always talk about with them and here, on my socials is there's 2 things that you should be doing all the time, every day, to be building up your social equity and to be building your business. And that's content and conversations. Content and conversations. Write it down. Remind yourself, content and conversations. Hopefully your content is good enough that you're attracting enough people for the conversations to come to you. But if your content isn't good enough for the conversations to come to you, then you've got to go and provoke those conversations. You've got to go and create those conversations. You've got to spend more time on social media because you've got to engage yourself. So my goal for you and my hope for you is that you're creating awesome enough, content that people are engaging with you, and that's creating the conversations for you to then talk about your products or your business opportunity. But if your content's not good enough, if your content's not consistent enough, if you're not letting people get to know, like, and trust you, if you're not building up your social equity, where are the conversations coming from? You've got to go and create them. Content and conversations, write it down, tell your team, tell anybody that you work with, there's the 2 things that you need to work on. The less content that you're putting out there, the more conversations you need to create. The more content, the better the content, the more aligned the content, the more human connection you're getting with your content. Those conversations will come automatically. That's attraction marketing. Do you get the gist? So number 1 is putting a valuable piece of content out on social media every single day. But number 2, how you actually deal with that is by batch recording, and batch creating your content. So you're not a slave to social media, because I'm not saying to you to be a slave to social media and thinking, well, a piece of content everywhere, every day. Helen, what the hell are you talking about? I'm saying be a little bit organized and time block to batch record some content that you don't even have to think about what you're putting out when. If you've got the professional mode of a personal profile, you can even schedule that advance. You don't even have to think about it. Work smarter and not harder, guys, to build up the social equity, to get the attention that you're looking for online. But you've got to create the content and have the conversations. Now, how do we batch record and come up with all the ideas to batch record the content so you can achieve number 1 by doing number 2? You do number 3. You utilize tools like ChatGPT and you go and ask the question, create me 10 different curiosity posts, create me 10 different headlines for my TikToks or my Reels or whatever. You don't even need to come up with the original content yourself. You can go to somewhere like ChatGPT and ask, that platform questions. Can you create me 10 attention-grabbing headlines all about the main issues that people struggle with gut health, with weight loss, with anti-aging, with travel, with with finances, with whatever you do in your business? Go and ask a free platform like ChatGPT to come up with the answers for you. They might come up with something, some of them you like and some of them you don't. So you just go back and keep going back and asking questions of the platform to get the information that you're looking for. So it might be, that's awesome, I love those 10 ideas, but they're a bit formal. Can you humanize them a little bit more? Can you write them in a way that sounds more like me? Can you write them more like a 5th grader? So, or can you write them more like a human rather than a marketer? So for you to do number 1, execute number 2, but for you to execute number 2, do number 3. Do you see how they all fall in line? But if you create a valuable piece of content on social media every day, you keep up with that by batch recording your content, and then you keep up with that by using a platform, and things like ChatGTP to achieve that, you're on a winner. And if you can do those things in that kind of sequence to create the content that you need to build up the know, like, and trust, then you're building up the social equity. When you build up social equity, more people will you'll create more attention online. I know this is simplistic for me to say, and I know that you've heard this before, but you might be on social media absorbing a lot of content, scrolling a lot of content, trying to do all the things, but you're not creating enough content yourself to build up enough social equity to get the attention that you need from people. You can absolutely bypass your friends and family and build up social equity with a whole new bunch of people. You can do that on different platforms as well if you want. The main platform that most people use is Facebook. But if you embrace something like Instagram or Reels, even on Facebook, Reels on Instagram, or even TikTok, you can grow and create social equity with a whole new bunch of people through different platforms. So create a valuable piece of content every single day, but do that by batch recording, and then create your batch recording by going to ChatGTP. Do you follow along? I'm just trying to simplify this for you, because for you to create more attention on social media, you have to build up that social equity, which means you have to show up a little bit more. And you have to create content that is valuable. Like, I'm saying a valuable piece of content every day. Now, a valuable piece of content could even be something that's just entertaining. So if you put a smile on somebody's face for the day, that's entertaining. Okay, so don't always, that's valuable. So don't always think it needs to be value. It could be a mixture of, what I talk about, the ease. So if you're thinking of mix of content, it could be entertaining, empowering, educational, the ease that I always talk about, emotional, triggering emotion in your content. If you mix up your content, you've got some entertaining content and some empowering content and some educational content and some emotional content, then you'll be on a winner. So valuable content could be any one of those things. So I hope this just makes you sort of rethink, okay, I'm not getting enough attention online, so what can I do? Okay, I need to build up my social equity. How do I do that? I need to get more people to know, like, and trust me. How do I do that? I'm not sharing enough about my own story. I'm not sharing enough about what I do. I'm not sharing enough about my journey. I'm not sharing enough about what I'm passionate about. So I need to do that. So my goal is to put one piece of valuable content out somewhere on a different platform. It could be one post on your personal profile, and the next day it's something on TikTok, and then the next day it's on Instagram. I'm not saying being everywhere every day all at once. But when you learn to work smarter and not harder, you can multi-purpose your content. You could put the same, content on your post and then throw it into your stories, and then throw it into Instagram stories. You could do a reel and put it on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Like, learn to work smarter and not harder. So there are various ways that you can learn to build up that know, like, and trust, and have multiple pieces of content going out on multiple platforms, but you're only creating the content once. So what I encourage you to do is evaluate, are you getting enough attention online? If you're not getting enough attention online, if you're not having enough conversations, if not enough people are engaging with you, then your goal is to build up your social equity. How do we do that? You put a valuable piece of, content out there every single day on the different platforms that you're in. How you keep up with that so you don't go insane or, overwhelmed by social media and you want to detox from social media because you're completely over it. Batch record your content, batch create your content so you don't get the overwhelm. But then while you're creating the content, it's like, I've got writer's block. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to put in my reels. I don't know what to post in my curiosity post. I don't know what to put out there. That's when you use ChatGTP to come up with the ideas for you, and you just execute it. You time block, to batch record, and you just execute all the information that ChatGPT has given you. So do you see the sequence there? Valuable piece of content every day, but batch recording the content so you don't get overwhelmed with social media, and then use something like ChatGPT to create the content for you so you don't get overwhelmed with creating the content. Every one of those steps that you can do easily if you do in that kind of sequence. So if you want to get more attention online, that's what I recommend you do. Is that helpful to any of you? And I know that you've heard this before. I know you know this, but sometimes we just need to step back and evaluate, what do I really need to spend my time on? There might be things that you are spending your time on that you are wasting your time on because you're not getting the basics done. The basics is building up your social equity. And that could be on whatever platform you choose. You could choose to embrace TikTok, put out videos, go out to a whole lot of different new strangers every day. Every video goes out to a whole lot of different new people. If they like what you have to say, then you're building up your social equity. And TikTok amazes me. It's you know, and that's why you should register for the TikTok Bootcamp 2.0. We start not next week, the week after. If you go to helenmartinonline.com/TikTok, it's free. And I'm going to share with you everything I've learned over the last 5 months of being on that platform. So there's things that I do now that I didn't kind of really do or take advantage of 5 months ago. So, you know, and that I'm doing that completely for free for you. So make sure you don't miss that opportunity. Okay. A couple of other things, and don't forget, don't forget, this week on Clubhouse, we talked about how to, you know, truly effectively engage with your audience, even if that's a small audience. So catch the replay of that. If you go to helenmartinonline.com// what is wrong with me? I have been talking for about 3.5 hours straight. When I do that, I get tongue-tied. And then I have tech issues like I've had today, and I've had to end up on my phone because my computer said my camera doesn't work anymore. Winning. Oh, good. It's still smiling. You just troubleshoot. But if you go to helenmartinonline.com/events, it's got all the links for everything that happened this week. So you can just catch all the links like that. That'll lead you to the replays. Those of you in my coaching community, I did a great training yesterday on customers, how to have customer retention strategies, the customer experience versus customer service. Like, it was a great training on customers. So make sure you guys catch the recording of that. Okay. So I hope this was helpful in some way. Cherie's saying very helpful. I need to build my social equity. Good. That's, you know, that's a good evaluation, Cherie. So just break it down, follow those 3 steps and really focus on that. Like, really just give that a dedicated focus, you know, maybe for the rest of the month of August on those 3 things, and get yourself into a good rhythm. When you're in a good rhythm, you'll continually build up your social equity. When you build up your social equity, you will get more attention from people online. Okay. So thank you for bearing with me with the tech issues today. If you eventually found me because I was late because I couldn't get on, thank you. Awesome to have you here with me live, or for those of you that are catching the replay. So this is my last live video for the week. I will be back with you next week on my normal schedule for you know, more ideas and strategies to help you build your social selling business with amazing systems and strategies. Okay, I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.